dear Dolly Polly, shut your eyes, lie still, lie silent, utter no cries as the witch.
Creepypastas. Creepypastas are apparently stories, scary stories, that have been traveling around the internet and told in such a way that you actually believe is true. And there are many of them out there. Like the story how My Little Ponies is created about 6 girls who went to the same school and died on the same day. Or that Pokemon story where if you listen to the music, it apparently drives you so mad you'll commit suicide. And out of all the creepypastas out there, there have been many characters that have been born from it. The most famous one of all is Slenderman. Slenderman is a tall man in a black suit with no face, long arms, and lives in the woods looking for children to play. And can even go so far as to demand sacrifices from those kids in order for his protection, not to kill their family. This is the case of 2 little girls in Wisconsin. Join me as we explore the case of Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser. Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser were 12-year-old girls that lived in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Both girls were described as socially awkward, especially Anissa, who was picked on at school and didn't have any friends. The 2 girls met in 6th grade because they rode the same school bus together. Anissa's first encounter with Slenderman was on a Minecraft video, and from there, she began reading up on him through creepypastas and online videos, believing that they were real, even though they were proven to be made up. Around October of 2013 is when Anissa introduced Slenderman to Morgan. Believing that he was real and thinking they could earn Slenderman's protection so they could live in his mansion and he wouldn't kill their families, the 2 girls constructed a plan to kill someone as a sacrifice. Their target, their 12-year-old best friend, Payton Leutner. Payton and Morgan had known each other since kindergarten and became best friends in the 4th grade. Morgan would then introduce Payton to Anissa later on. They initially had planned their attack on May 30th, 2014, when they had a slumber party at Morgan's house for her 12th birthday. The plan was, around 2 a.m., they were going to wait for Payton to fall asleep, duct tape her mouth, and stab her in the neck and flee. But they didn't do it because Morgan wanted to give Payton one more day to live. The next day, however, was a different story. After eating breakfast, Morgan asked her mom if she, Anissa, and Payton could go play at the park. Normally, being the strict parents that they were, they wouldn't let her go. But this time they agreed because she was going with 2 friends, so they knew she would be safe. Oh, if they only knew. Before leaving, Morgan took a knife from the kitchen and hid it in her jacket. The group played hide and seek where Anissa took Payton deep into the woods. Morgan found Anissa first and handed her the knife, telling her to carry out the attack. But Anissa handed it back, telling Morgan to do it. Eventually, Morgan agreed to carry it out. Once Anissa gave the signal, Morgan pinned Payton down and stabbed her 19 times all over her body, which 2 of the wounds were major ones. One that barely missed her heart by less than a millimeter, and the other cutting her liver and stomach. After the attack, the 2 girls told Payton to lay there and they were going to get help. But instead, they left for Nicolet National Forest, which was supposedly the home of Slenderman. Meanwhile, Payton, clinging on to life, dragged herself to a nearby road where she was discovered by a cyclist. He called 911 and police were notified. Payton was taken to the hospital, where luckily she survived her wounds. Morgan and Anissa were eventually captured on Interstate 94 on their way to Nicolet National Forest. On them, they had food, water, family photos, and the knife which they used to carry out their attack. But by taking plea deals and pleading guilty, the judge still found them not guilty for reason of insanity. Anissa was sentenced to 25 years in a mental hospital where she will remain under constant psychiatric care until she's 37. Morgan was sentenced to 40 years in a mental hospital where she will remain under psychiatric care until she's 53. Following this crime, the Waukesha School District blocked the entire creepypasta. Slenderman creator Eric Knudsen conveyed his deepest sympathies to the families and the victims. There was a 24-hour live stream that was held by the creepypasta community, as well as the city of Madison, Wisconsin, who held a fundraiser for Payton. Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser are both sad cases of when you let fear and paranoia control your mind, because fear and paranoia will eventually cause you to do the things that they did. And not only did they almost take the life of this poor little girl, but they committed themselves to a mental institution as well as a forever place in the psycho realm.